Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to make the bell tassels. Okay, so there's two of them there, just so that you've got those. And what I'm going to do is just put those ones to one side for the moment. And so I am using the Voynich manuscript, and we're on page 44R to be able to do the bell tassels. And the instructions are here, so that I've got those written down just so that you can actually just have a quick look at those if you wanted to see them. I've translated them as well. Okay, right, so let's just see if I can then begin. Okay, so I'm using a blue yarn today, and so what we need to do is begin with a chain of 15. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Into the fifth chain, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, by the way, the 15 came from the roots, by the way, just in case you're interested. And the actual stitch which we're going to do is the half treble if you're in the UK, or it's a half double if you're in the US. 10th line down, 6th word. I've just lost my count now. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just double checking that I'm in the right place. So you do the half double or the half treble. You chain 2, so that's 1, 2, and then into the next stitch along you're going to just make the half treble like that, and it's 1, 2. Say if you're in the US, it's going to be classed as a half double, and you do that all the way to the end of the row, so that you well, you've got to do it till the end of the row. Sorry, I feel like I'm just going a little bit bonkers, to be fair. Okay, so 1, 2. I just want to show you getting to the end, because when you actually, what we're doing on this bit, we're making the outside part of it. So this is the bell cage section of it. So if you've watched the other video where I've been saying about this is in the Voynich manuscript and it's all part of the code, you can go and have a look at that one, because that reveals the author. And this is just the bit I had to do it the wrong way round, because I knew that if I did it the right way round, then I would have been telling you things that would have sort of given it away before I was ready. Okay, so 1, 2, and then we get to the very end. So at the end of, so that's the end of this row, and so whoop, it's going to look like this. These pieces do fit just like I showed you on the other pieces. They do fit on the images as you go along. Right, so then from now onwards, the next section is to do a chain 4. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. The 2 stitches are to represent the half treble, and then you've got the chain 2 or half double, and then you're going to just work your half double or half treble stitch, chain 2, and just do the half double or half treble in all of the chain 2 spaces, and you just keep doing that until you've actually got a total of 6 rows of that. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way, because once you've got to 6 rows, I know this is a slightly different shade of blue. And once you've got to 6 rows, so I'm just going to show you so it's easy so you can see how to count. So this is your tail end where you began. They're going to look like this. So you're going to go 1, 2. That is actually the end of a row there. 3, 4, 5. I've only got 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. There is 6 rows there. And then you need to do a chain 2. So this next section, this is 3rd line down, 3rd word. So you're going to do a chain 2, your half double or half treble into the chain 2 space. So you've got your 2 there. Then you're going to just do chain 1, and then into the tops of all these chain 2s, you're going to work 2 of the half double or half treble, chain 1, and you're going to do that till you get all the way to the very end. Okay. So that you're going to go do, just literally complete that to the end. When you get to the very end, your piece is then it's going to curve more when you've actually done that. And then what you do here, you're going to fold the work in half like that, and you're going to put your hook through, so between the last 2 half double or half treble stitches, and between those on the opposite side, and you're going to slip stitch to join. I actually got this part, it is in the book, It is, but it's not actually as part of the clues, so you have to sort of find this one. So then you do a chain 2, and then you're going to go into the bigger part at the front, and then it's a smaller part at the back. Chain 2, and then it's smaller at the front and then a bigger hole at the back. Whoops. Chain 2, bigger at the front, smaller at the back. Chain 2, in there, and that one at the back. Chain 2, bigger one at the front, smaller one at the back. Chain 2. Now this next one, so you've gone around the corner now, so we've got this sort of a bend, so you're going to slip stitch into that one there, or do a single crochet depending where you're from. Chain 2, and then where you've got your tail end, you're going to put your hook through there, and then on the opposite side at the chain right next to the actual post, you're going to get into that chain there, if I can do it, all my days, there, and then slip stitch to join. So you're at that point, and then pull your tail end all the way through. Hang on a minute, I'm going to get my scissors now, just cut that off, just so that we've, whoops, oh, I've just cut it off. Oh my days, have I just cut that off so it's really tiny. You're not supposed to cut it off so it's really, really tiny. That's not actually helping at all, realistically, but never mind. You do need to leave that as a longer tail end, and I'm sorry that I've done that short. I just feel like I'm under, yeah, it's really warm today. So we're just going to move that there. So you turn it the other way around to make your actual cage. Then you're going to get your yarn. Let's just cut that off there. And for this bit, what you do is you put your twist on your hook first, and then you're going to yarn over, because you're going to just do this, the half treble straight into the to the next stitch. So where you've got your join to one side of there, you're going to do the half treble stitch like that. Then you're going to skip one gap and then go in between the next, and you're going to keep doing that so you go all the way around. So you're going to skip one, so you end up with 6 stitches on this bit. So you've got 1 2 3, 1 2 4 stitches, 5 stitches, and 6. Woo. There. Okay, now the next little bit, it is quite fiddly, I'm going to be honest, but it's doable. So where you actually did your beginning stitch there, you've got your little gap between it. So what you want to do now is you want to actually do your half stitch into that gap there. So from now onwards, each time you do a round, you're only going to have 5 stitches. And you're going to, because you're working in every single stitch now, and your hole is going to get smaller as you go around, so you're going to have to sort of twist and pull up and make sure you come through the little hole. Yeah, and you keep doing that. You need to make 12 rows or 12 rounds of this stitch to be able to get to the correct length, and you just keep doing that over and over again. Yeah, so when you've actually got to the bit where you're doing 5 stitches, you need 12 rows or rounds, should I say, of that. Okay, so you do that, and then once you've actually got to, we've finished all of that, you will have your piece. If you'd have done your tail end longer like I should have done, you'll have 3 tail ends sticking out here and 1 tail end sticking out of there. To do the inside piece, you begin with a chain of 27, and you just do the pattern exactly the same of doing your half treble chain 2s, and then the last one is the 2 half treble or half double chain 1. Okay, now I'm going to just get my needle, wherever my needle is, just there. So what you do, so the top section there, which is where you actually started your row, you're going to actually thread your needle. Now realistically, what you would be doing is you'd be putting all your tassels on, so your actual tassels. And this is how to make the bundle of tassels, by the way. So you do them in groups of 20, and then you use 2 to be able to just loop them together, and then they do 1 to go around. So you need 67 tassels in total. Okay, and all you do is, so you start off and you go in between So when you've got your work like this, which is the right way round, so to speak, you're going to just be going in between the two stitches is where you put in one, and then the other one's going into the chain one space. You do that all the way round. I've got this one. So it'll look like this, okay? And the actual, the actual bell itself, the cage itself, will end up looking like that. I'm doing it without because it's easier just to show you like of this next stage. So then what you do is you roll up your actual inside section like that, and then got my needle on that end there. So your top will look all nice and neat like that, and your bottom will look like that, so it's almost like a little rose. Then you're going to get your needle and going to go right the way through, so you're going to come through two posts on the opposite side and pull that through. And then you'll come to one side, so that's where I've come out, and I'm going to go in there, and then you just come straight opposite through some posts the opposite side. Do that at least 3 times, because that just makes it all be nice and secure, because you want to go all the way through it. And then what you do is once you've gone your 3, you can go in and you can come up through the actual middle, just there, with that one. Okay, and then you get the other end, your other tail end from the other side. Make sure your little bell's like where you want it. And then you've got, where you've got your 2 stitches there, you want to come through there. You're going to do a really loose stitch, just to keep it from coming undone. We know when you're trying to do the next stages, and it just makes it easier. Then you've got a big gap, just come through that gap and just come up through a gap. We just want nice loose stitches just to hold this closed, and then come through a gap and come through, just so that you've got that bit held into place through there and through the top there. And then you're going to do the same again that you did before, so you're going to come through and come through a post the opposite side. If you can see, you've already been round one of the posts, just go round the next door to it, come through the opposite side. That's 2 stitches through, and then we'll go through there and through to the opposite side like that. And whoops, I've lost my tail end. And then you're just going to just make sure that then this bit goes up through the middle, the same as the other one, like that. So you've got that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do, you can do a knot and then try and undo it. It's harder. So if you just do like a slip knot, just so that you've got something to latch onto. Okay, so that you do that and you've got that there. And then what you do is you get the actual cage, the cover of it, and where you've got all of these tail ends, there's actually a hole. So you're going to put your hook through the hole. When you do it with the tassels on it, you have to put all the tassels over like that. And then what you do is you get the looped end and pull that through those holes there, so you've got all of those into place, and then you slot the cage over the top. Yep. You want to make sure, and so what you do is you make sure that this bit is pulled really, really tight. The bit, you know, the bit that you've done the loops on it there. And then each one of these strands that's there, so just make sure that's nice and tight. You're going to just do 1 knot. So that's 1 knot with that one, 1 knot with that one, and then this third one there. Then you're just going to just undo your slip knot. Then you get your hook, you put your hook through the tail, through the end down there, slot it all the way through, and then you get your strands and you pull your strands so that they come out of the top of the actual top of the bell section there of the handle. I'm not sure what you want to call that, the bit that's going to be, because honestly there's different things we can do with it. So just going to see if I can get these through. Ooh. There, I've missed one. like that. Oh, that one's not coming through, it just doesn't want to work. There we go. Right, so then what you do is you get, so all of your tail ends that you, so this is the tail end where you finish the actual bell. That one, you want to, that one you leave that one there. The other ones you can cut those ones off, unless you're doing the other version, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And then what you do is you actually sew this section through there, so you can make it so that you've actually got your little bell. Okay, and so obviously this one's in blue, so we've got a blue bell. Okay, so that was so that's how to actually make the bell. So as I was saying to you before when I was doing the manuscript, so if we're following the instructions of there, we make the actual bell. If we actually make all of the pieces, and we actually make 3 of them, I don't know if you can see that, so you get, this is one section, this is one section, and that's the 3rd section. So the 8 is actually the treble crochet stitch in the manuscript. And then you've got 2 of these, which is 2 of, so you've got double. Yeah, so this is a double treble. So that's how that actually worked for that. And so that was the clue to be able to give to James, because James was actually supposed to be following the instructions from the book. So he had to then do the double treble crochet stitch. And I've got an extra thing to show you, to show that it is actually to do with Scotland. We just hang on. So if you actually do the actual bell and everything in green, all that green, and you put the thistles on, the purple on the end, if you actually just weave through in and out, just you've got a loop on this end and just a normal end on there. What you can do is you can get this and you can pull it really nice and tight, so you actually get the shape of the thistle. Yep, if you can see that. Is it looking like you can see that good enough? So if we actually then follow the book to page number 2, where we can actually see the thistles, and we follow the instructions on this page, this actually creates you a triangle. If you actually make the triangle, it has to be 3 rounds. Is it right? 1, 2, 3 rounds to be able to do it. And what you do is you line up the middle, because this is where we've got a front post stitch now. And we line up this here, and then right in the very bottom bit there, I don't know if you can see that properly, you can see there's a J. Yeah, so the part of that actual thing there creates the actual J that you can actually see through there, so you can see that that is the link. So this was James's window, and so he'd got to look through this bit when he was actually following his clues to be able to continue with everything else. Okay, so also to be able to make sure that we actually, so how everything was, I'm just going to just get the bells back. I've got 2 there. On the actual rows, you can do it with a thistle as well. If you make them as per instructed, what you can do is you can slot these onto here, which is also another clue of the double treble. Okay, and you'll say, hang on, there's 3 bells there, and it's like, yes. In Italian, which Queen Elizabeth I could speak, tre means 3. And so that would be her rose with the bells on it, so you'd get a double treble crochet. Okay, so there we go. So that's just on the bell. So thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing. Bye for now.